हाँ ठीक है. So let us begin. Respected guest speakers and dear students, we are here to mark and to observe the International Mother Language Day. It's an event which we are regularly observing from the last few years. In fact, the whole idea of doing this online was happened in the COVID time. And from that point onwards, we are almost regularly maintaining this, regularly organizing every year we are organizing this event. And hopefully, some of you may remember that in our first event a few years ago, Shagufta ma'am was the first speaker of this event when we started this online. We observe this program in our campus also. Tomorrow we are organizing a poetry event to mark this day in our campus. But from the last few years, we are observing it online also. So I now invite two of our students, since the two departments, the two sections, Department of English, Karim City College, and Society for Promotion of Art and Culture, Karim City College, organizes this event jointly. So I now invite the two students, Shivli Palit and Sunij Sharma, who will take after the event and they will begin the program. Shivli.
Thank you, sir. A very good evening to one and all present over here. I, Shivli Palit, an active core member of the PG Department of English, welcomes you all on the behalf of the PG Department of English and SPARC, the Society for Promotion of Arts and Culture. Today, we all have gathered up here to celebrate the International Mother Language Day, which is celebrated every year on February 21 across the world to promote awareness of linguistic and cultural diversity as well as multilingualism. It was first introduced by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, in 1999. According to the UNESCO website, the day was established on the initiative of Bangladesh. Now, I would like to request our respected Professor, Dr. Professor A.K. Das sir, to welcome our esteemed guest speakers.
Thank you, Sweely. Am I audible? Julie, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to all present. As you have heard from Shivli, that today we have assembled here to observe jointly by our PG Department English and Society for Promotion of Art and Culture of our college, International Mother Language Day, which we have been organizing for last few years. And we have the proud privilege to have amidst us two renowned figures, Tabassum Tahmina Shagufta Hussein, Adjunct Faculty, Southeast University, Dhaka, Bangladesh, and Dr. Sunij Sharma, Department of English, AMU Aligarh, who are the guest speakers. And I, on behalf of Department of English, SPARC, and Principal Sir of our college and college management, welcome Shagufta ma'am and Sunij Sharma sir from the core of my hearts. Mother tongue or mother language is the most important thing in the life of an individual. A child is born, and when he starts speaking, he speaks through his mother. He learns best through his mother tongue. He communicates best to his mother tongue. He dreams best in his mother tongue. And he achieves the goals of life better in mother tongue. So the need to deliberate on the mother tongue will always be there. And also inculcate among us a sense of unity amidst diversity. And we have been hearing a lot about it, and a lot of functions and debates or seminars that are being organized across the world. And today we will be hearing a very insightful speech from Shagufta Hussein ma'am and Sunij Sharma sir on this vital issue, which will enlighten us and will widen up our mental horizon towards our approach to mother tongue or mother language. I again welcome both these distinguished guest speakers. We are now all ears to hear Shagufta ma'am first, followed by Sunij Sharma sir. Thank you very much. And I once again welcome both of you from the core of my heart.
Thank you, sir. Now, introducing the incredible Tabassum Tahmina Shagufta Hussein ma'am, a beacon of inspiration. She was born in Chittagong and now lives in Dhaka, Bangladesh. She completed her master's degree in English literature. She was faculty in Dhaka City College, Daffodil International University, State University of Bangladesh, University of Asia Pacific. Currently, she is an adjunct faculty at Southeast University. She was an international fellow of International Human Rights Art Festival, NY, USA in 2020. She is the Poetry Award winner of Korean Expatriate Literature in 2021 and Bangla translator of Ithaca Foundation, Poetry Without Borders, Spain. Now, without further ado, I invite Tabassum Tahmina Shagufta Hussain ma'am to grace us with her wisdom and share a few words. Her insights are sure to illuminate our path and inspire us to reach greater heights. Ma'am, please.
Assalamu alaikum, adab, namaskar, namaste, and a very good evening to you all. I would like to thank you for inviting me. It is such an honor, and I consider it as such a privilege. Uh, I was invited over here in 2022, uh, and it was an amazing experience. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Sir Karim City College because I think that I'm from Bangladesh. In some way, I can tell you about this language movement, but I would not, well, I will not bore you with history. And this is an amazing experience because the diversity of languages in India and two of the ancient languages, Tamil and Sanskrit, the languages are still surviving and considered as one of the, two of the most ancient languages in the world. And so it is an honor to be here. But I don't want to give lecture. I want it to be some kind of engagement with the students. And I would like to share something. And I would like to learn something from you because we all learn from each other. Learning is a continuous process and there is no end of learning. We all learn from each other. I learn from my students. And I think, it would be nice evening. Just where to start. Miss Shuli Palit has already told us that why International Mother Language Day is celebrated and when, how it was declared. But there is a history. The history starts with the partition of India and Pakistan. I really don't want to go to details about India, just focusing on Pakistan. So Pakistan then in 1947, Pakistan had five provinces: Punjab, Sindh, Northwest Frontier, Baluchistan, and East Pakistan, which is now known as Bangladesh. Uh, if you, I think you know, the Punjabi, they have their own language. Baluch people, they have their own language, their own. Sindh people, they speak in different languages. Northwest Frontier, there are, I mean, so many tribal people, tribes, they have their own languages as well. In East Pakistan, we in East Pakistan, I mean, our Bangladesh, we were the majority of the people, and we and we spoke in, we speak actually Bangla. In 1948, it was declared that Urdu will be the national language. And there is a mistake over here. I mean, people have a kind of, they have a wrong impression that we Bengali people, we told that the BJP government of Pakistan, no, you can't have Urdu, we want only Bangla. This is not right. We never had any sort of, kind of competition or any kind of thing regarding that thing. We had only one demand. Okay, you want Urdu? Fine. But also declare Bangla as national language. But they declined it. And there were protests. And I don't want to, bore you with history. Let's jump into 1952. And the Pakistan government, they outlawed all kinds of protests, procession against this movement. And this movement was called the language movement. And 21st February, the students of Dhaka University, they decided that they will break 144. Okay, and they started marching, and the police just fired, and five students were killed. I will show you in a slideshow their pictures, and I will tell you their names. But may I request you, as a courtesy, to for this martyrs, when I will be showing only the pictures of our martyrs and the Shohid Minar, the monument where we pay tribute to these martyrs of this language movement, will you please open your cameras as a token of respect, all of you, the students. May I kindly request you to open your cameras. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, thanks. Okay. This is the monument, and here we go and pay respect to the martyrs. We pay our homage to the martyrs and pay tribute to them by placing wreaths and everything. Uh, these are the pictures of our martyrs and Shahid. Shahid means, you know what Shahid is, we call, and we address them as Shahid. And it is Mr. Abdul Barkat, Abdul Salam, Abdul Jabbar, and Rafiqud Din Ahmed, and Shafir Rahman. Thank you. And how we celebrate it. The dress code is black and white. We mount them We pay our tribute, our homage to them, and we it's not only about lamenting and grief, we feel pride. Because in the history of the world, I don't know if people sacrificed their lives for their mother tongue. And now, how do we celebrate? In educational institutions, we celebrate it. We place the replica, and this is from Southeast University. And on 21st February, we'll be seeing such replicas of the original monument all over Bangladesh. This is another picture. Today, this morning, the replica of the original Shahid Minar at Southeast University. This is how we pay our tribute to our mom. Okay, so our dress code is black and white, and we feel pride. We are proud of our history, culture. But at the same time, I think it is very important for us to pay respect to all the languages. It is not about competition. It's about respecting all the languages, all the mother tongues. I would like to share some slides of the ancient languages, and I would like to share some personal experiences, and I would like to know from you if you can teach me something. This is the slide of Tamil, and in 2022, I was in Chennai for 2 months, and I picked up some, Tamil words like Vanakkam. It means hello, and thank you. They say Nandri, and is yes, and no is illai. Right. So whenever I think it is very important when we are visiting some country, we should pay respect to their language, their custom, their culture, because we are guests over there and they are hosts. It's very important to pay the respect. And this is all about. We are kind of a global family. We are some way, somehow connected to each other. That's what I would like to say. Okay, next slide. This is Sanskrit. Any of the students, can you enlighten me some Sanskrit word? It is Sanskrit from Sanskrit, Hindi, Bangla, they originated. They have been originated. And I know that there is another section of Sanskrit which is called Devanagari. But can you tell me, any one of you, any students, that can you teach me one, two, three Sanskrit still existing in Hindi? Anyone? Any Sanskrit word still existing in Hindi? Can anyone?
Anyone who knows Sanskrit and can read it?
Yeah, I mean, he or she will have to give me the words so that I can learn one or two words, Sanskrit words. I would really like to learn because I have picked up four Tamil words. Because Hindi is originated from Sanskrit,
Ma'am,
Bangla as well.
perhaps they are all joined through their mobile phones or mobile may. In mobile, the screen is not so very much clear. So that's why I think they are not able to read it. But anyone who is able to read it?
No, no, no. I'm not asking them to read. I'm asking them to teach me like Sanskrit word for thank you and hello so that I
Okay.
can learn from them.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello?
Ma'am,
I'm
I
sure
don't
I
know the
know it.
literal word for thank you or hello, but I do know some few words, know few words of Sanskrit, sentences you can say, which we have learned back in the school.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, like we say that aham gachami, that means that I'm going.
Hang, ga,
Aham gachami. Aham is
hang,
for I and gachami is for going.
I am going. Okay, hangachami. Anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Hangachami, I am going.
Yes, ma'am.
So हिंदी में आप क्या बोलते हैं? How do you
Ma'am,
say it? Hangachami, I am going. हम जा रहे हैं.
yes,
Something like
ma'am.
that.
मैं जा रही हूँ और मैं जा रहा हूँ.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you see, this is I'm here to learn from you. So I have learned and I have written it. Hangachami. It's in Sanskrit. It means I am going. Right?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And now, firstly, uh, you know that Urdu is originated from Farsi, and I'm not here to bore you with linguistic knowledge because linguistic is not my arena. Literature is. I can tell you two, three words from Farsi, like Tahmina, my name is Farsi, and it is one of the famous characters from Shahnama, Firdaus, Shahnama, Shurab and Rustam, one of the characters. Shagufta is also a Farsi word. It means blooming flower. And I know this too. Anyone Farsi? Or if you enlighten me with Urdu, one or two Urdu words, it's fine with me. Because Farsi is originated from Urdu.
Yes. Anyone? Students?
One or two Urdu words would be fine because we are here to embrace all the languages to respect. I mean, I feel that way. Uh, how are you? I think in Urdu we say it, आप खैरियत से है or good night is shabak khair, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Or we are having like, can we call it guptugu? We are having guptugu. Is it the correct word?
Yes,
Ji.
ma'am.
Yes.
Guptugu. Yes. So you see, that's why since I know my name, the meaning of my name, and I'm sorry for being a bit, I'm not tech savvy. Let's jump into Latin. Any Latin words, do you know, still existing? Really easy. I mean, we are using Latin words everywhere. I mean, we just can't go away with Latin. Even the word major, carpe diem, vice versa, ad hoc, all these words in English are Latin words, and we are still using them.
Ma'am, agenda.
This is ancient Egyptian. Uh, yes, agenda. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. This is ancient Egyptian. And the thing is that, you know, we often confuse with these, you know, their language with the hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics is used only, was used only, I think it was used for only religious purpose. But this is their script, the ancient Egyptian, and I don't know any word from this. This is Aramaic. Aramaic is, I mean, you know, where did you hear the word Aramaic? Have you ever heard it, the word Aramaic?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I can tell you where I have heard the word Aramaic, and it's pretty hilarious. Have you watched the movie The Exorcist? and
Pardon,
this
ma'am.
kind of the movies, the horror films, where the characters get possessed by, some sort of evil spirits, and they uh, start speaking in Arabic or ancient languages not known to
Yes,
anyone.
ma'am. Yes,
So,
ma'am. We have seen this.
yeah, that is how it got my attention, and I started looking for it, and I knew that it's Aramic in originated. But it's a very interesting fact that Aramic has contributed to Arabic. Aramaic is ancient to Arabic language, but at the same time, it has contributed to Arabic as well. Now, Irish Gaelic. This is pretty interesting. I mean, we have so many great Irish writers, James Joyce, um, Samuel Beckett, W.B. Yeats, but they all have written in English. They haven't written in Irish Gaelic. Irish Gaelic, they are ancient than the English languages. Why? Because they did not use Latin words. And there are still going on debates about, I mean, do you consider Samuel Beckett or W.B. Yeats, James Joyce as English writer or Irish writer? They do have problem regarding this Irish people that they think that they should be considered as Irish, and some they think they should not because they have written in English. So this is very interesting, I think, part I picked up, and I was just going through it. I was reading some debate, and I find it very interesting. Now, I'm going to show you some slides. I think I used these slides in 2022, but it's hieroglyphics, and I really want to clarify. I think there are differences in Arab other hieroglyphics from the Egyptian one. Can you see anything over here? Anatolian. Can you identify any signs? Anatolian, I'm not going to bore you with history. Anatolian is, in present Syria, and it's BC. They do have some sort of resemblance with the Egyptian hieroglyphics. Can you identify any sign? Anyone? It's like shoe, this one. This one likes some side of crop maybe or fish, I don't know. Uh, some sort of pot. It's a human figure. Can you identify anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please. Could you please identify anything? You know why I'm asking you this? Because I think the ancient people, they had beautiful imagination, and they were coloring their mythology and their these scripts, these hieroglyphics with the colors of their mind. And I salute their imagination, and that's why I'm just trying to, see from our eyes, our point of view, that what you can identify in this slide in Anatolian. Anyone? Does it look like Fleur de Lis? The French symbol? You see, there is a horse face I think these are some kind of wooden structures. This can be knife. And anyone, would you like to share? Okay, next slide. This is Mima. This is, in present day Canada. But the thing is, they stopped using this in 19th century, but nobody knows when they started it. And can you identify any letters over here? Anyone?
Yes, ma'am. C, but that is written in a.
Ma'am A, ma'am A,
A,
H,
J,
L,
N,
T,
E,
J, I.
Ma'am, pi.
pi. Yes, pi stand. Very interesting. Nobody knows when they started it, but we only know that they have stopped using this in 19th century.
Ma'am M. There are so many languages.
Yeah. How? What does it look like? Can it be a fish? Interestingly, I think this is a cross sign. I might be wrong. Okay. Next slide. This is Mayan. We are obsessed with Mayan, the Mayan civilization. These people are enigma, kind of enigma to us, because I think there was some kind of speculation that the world is going to face a doomsday, according to Mayan calendar. This is their hieroglyph. What do you see? I will tell what I see later. What do you see here in these hieroglyphs?
Human face.
Human face. Do they remind you of anyone?
Um,
Let me tell you, I think I have read about the Oshus, the demons, the king of gods from the Puran, Devaraj Indra. They were fighting with, along with all gods, they were fighting with the demons and they are called Oshur. I think this phase somewhere I find similarities kind of Ashur phase. Ashur means demons. Do you know the mythology?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Next is the grace. And it's grace. So what you can see over here.
maybe an owl.
Yes,
I think I.
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 There is cross mark. Cross mark. There is a cross mark, and I think they just.
And also the symbol of therefore, because there is a three dot also.
Yes. Excellent observation. There is a cross sign. And if you see from this, um, yeah, it looks
I
like a
think
bell.
bell. Bell.
Yes, it looks like bell. But the interesting thing is, they are from Greece, the Greek. It has striking similarities with leather band, the protection from evil eyes. Do you agree? In Pakistan, in Iran, in Syria, in Turkey, they use it. It's called Nazar Band. Nazar, I think in Urdu and also in Hindi, it means eyes or sight. In Bangla, we also use Nazar, the sight. Band means bondho in Bangla. Band means closed. So this is a kind of symbol. So it's striking, isn't it, that we are somewhere somehow connected. This is Olmec. This is in modern day Mexico. And the interesting thing is that there are so many signs and they have been deciphered. Can you just identify one, two, three for me?
Yes, ma'am. Chirag.
Chirag,
Jug.
that means
Star,
lamp.
insect,
Okay,
star
star
and
and
insect.
insect.
Some kind of fruits, insects.
Yes. And anything?
मैम शेविंग करने वाला जो
Anil.
ब्रश होता है वो भी है मैम.
Okay, thank you. So I hope I have not bored you. Just let's move on to the next slide. Sign language. Let me just give you an experience from my Chennai experience. I didn't know Tamil, and in Chennai, in south part of India, they actually don't know Hindi and English. So when you are outside, and I just had to use my own sign language because I had to be there for two. So the taxi or the cab, they don't know Hindi. They don't know English. So what you are going to do? You are going to say, okay, me when I go like this, that I need food, take me there. So we need sign languages in our own way when there are barriers of, you know, understanding of language. Sign language is not used only for the deaf people. Sometimes we do, like I did. And I can give you another example that I had to go to a certain office because I was staying in Chennai for 2 months and nobody would know the name of the office, whatever direction I was giving them. So I found out that the name of the building is Lal Bahadur Shastri Building. So when I say to them that Lal Bahadur Shastri Building, they would understand. But when you say the name of the office, they won't understand. Similarly, when I just was about eating, I gave you the example. I wanted to go to the hospital and I would show them the file, the patient file, they would take me there. So this is very interesting. Even if we are not deaf, sometimes we need to use the sign languages. Here is one other point I would like to show you that in sign languages, British Sign Language is different from American one. And I do appreciate it. Their channels, they always use sign language option. And I think it is very kind to the physically challenged people. And we should start doing it. Internet language and slang. I'm not used to it. I still don't get it. I'm not against it. I would love to talk about it. But, somewhere, somehow, uh, 2 years back, I told you that I'm trying to get it used to IDK. I don't know. I'm sorry to inform you that after 2 years, I'm still writing I don't know, not IDK. Because I'm from another generation, maybe this is one of my shortcomings. But I do notice one thing. This language, internet language, it affects our behavior, our attitude. When we correct the script, I find it very, very, it's, you are writing, that my students are writing informal internet language, like they're writing varsity, they are writing I in small letter, they are also writing you. Y-O-U, they are not writing it. They are just writing you. So this is how our whole behavior, attitude, they are changing. And I'm also, you know, just clicking to these emojis instead, like in social media. I have loved something, and I would like to say it's a poignant comment. There, I'm just clicking this emoji sign, and this is how I'm losing the vocabulary. Maybe what I had, the ancient and beautiful English vocabulary which I used to use, it's not happening. Even Gmail, now you have this set of, answer. Thank you very much. I understand it's time consuming, but when you are replying to your teacher, why don't you just write, okay, thank you very much, but you can write dear sir or madam. Then you just click that, thank you very much. And below that, sincerely yours. Where's harm in it? I mean, you need to be courteous. You need to be polite, I think. I'm not against these emojis, but we are losing our vocabulary. I think that way. Now, language is evolving. It is a common process. It is natural process. It can be migration. It can be transport. It can be social change, social media, technology. Do I have to tell you more? I think I don't need to. Even these days, people are using memes for some sort of reply, and okay, fine. But if you just keep using, and oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you about ChatGPT. This is very interesting. In Bangladesh, uh, in 2023, one of the prominent English newspaper in Bangladesh gave Dhaka board, which is equivalent to your, I don't know, school secondary certificate test. And ChatGPT scored A. The teacher, he didn't know who the student was. So he was asked, what do you think of this student? I said, okay, he's fine, he got A. But everything is informative. Something is missing. I don't know. You say ChatGPT, it will help you to write everything full of information, but there will be always human touch missing. It will be always missing. It will be always missing. You can't, you can't have, you can't replace human emotions and feelings with ChatGPT. That's what I was going to say. But I'm not against ChatGPT. If it helps you, fine. But don't forget that you are a human. You have human feelings, emotions, which ChatGPT don't have. And I think language is very powerful communication. We need to be very careful in our professional life, in our social life, at home, in your academic life, we should be careful to use the words, the choice of words, that it can cause misunderstanding, mismanagement, lots of things, and chaos. And uh, why should we not use the polite languages? What's harm in it? We can be always polite by using nice words, nice English. And I do understand that we have lost our place in the world stage, being the number one beautiful language, ornamental English, which we have inherited from the British. We have lost the stage. Now it belongs to the American English, which is simple. We don't use any more compound English, complex English, and we don't use, we now use American format, which is simple English. It's okay, fine, but where's the harmony in sometimes some beautiful English from the English we used to have, because we will be losing it. And at the same time, I would like to point out that the tribal people's language, I think it is very important for migration reason, or for, they do come to these towns and they do learn the mainstream language in my country, because I don't want to talk about your country. I would like to talk about my country, Bangladesh. There are indigenous people, they do come over here and they pick up the main Bangla. And one generation, the second generation, they are forgetting their own culture, tradition. They do have beautiful stories, songs, poems, but if these are not preserved, they will be lost in the black hole of time. And we won't be able to, the way I am showing you these Maya people, the Almec, we need to preserve their uh, culture, language as well. And our government is trying their best. So I have told you about that, uh, respecting languages, and respecting language is very important, very, very important. We are all part of a global family, multilingual society. We live in harmony. It is a matter of harmony and coexistence. If the respect, it has to be earned. If I respect you, then you will respect me. This is not one way. Communication in business, they always teach that communication is two-way. Our relationship, even teaching, it has to be two ways, both sides. Relationship, communication, whatever. Even with the teachers, students need to, I think, communicate with language, with beautiful language, or if not beautiful, at least with response. Because we are seeing one thing these days, and I think it is very much alarming, that students, they do come to class for attendance, not for the participation. And what happens? They are always, with this. Why? And don't let uh, this world of metaverse and fourth industrial revolution take this human thing from us. You need to uh, communicate uh, with each other. It is very important. Otherwise, you will become just robotic. Because I would like to quote G.N. Davy, a very renowned linguist from India, and he said that this technology may lead to less communication, because these days in one room, children are here all over same room, but they are not talking. They are texting each other. And in the classroom, teacher is giving speech, but one student and another teacher, if you are not a very strict teacher, they are texting. I think we are losing something. We are not against technology, it's very fine, but we need to always remember that we are human. We need to, we can't let ourselves become the slave of AI, or the things are coming, which is fourth industrial revolution. I don't want to end my this exchange, sharing knowledge, because I have learned one Sanskrit word. Forgive me if I am pronouncing it wrongly. Hangashami, which means I am going. I don't want to end in a pessimistic note by quoting Nietzsche. We still do have hope, because this is why I'm here and the students are there. And instead of me, there is no AI, and instead of you, there is no AI over there. So this is a hopeful note, hopeful tone I would like to address to you. And The thing is that we need to learn from each other. We need to respect each other. Please respect each and everyone. And respect has to be earned. And my request to you, don't let yourself become the slave of AI. You are a human at the end of the day. That is how we are different. We have our emotions and feelings, which needs to be, conveyed, which needs to be described, which needs to be expressed through our language. And I'm very much honored to be here because this is a land of two ancient languages, namely Tamil and Sanskrit. And also, I would like to express my sincere and profound regards to Dr. Sharma. It is an honor to be in the same platform as a guest speaker. Thank you, sir. And this is all I have to say. And thank you so much. I wish you all, a very good future. And I wish you all the best in your endeavors. And my profound respect to sir. Thank you so much. Dhanyabad, also in Bangla and Hindi, and Urdu, those who are Urdu speaking here. Shukriya, and thank you in English. Thank you. Good night. Shabba khair. Shubhoratri.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your.
Thank you,
Yes,
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, Shuli, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inspiring words. Now, I would like to request Swati Sharma to continue with the program.
Thank you, Shuli. Now introducing our next speaker, Dr. Sunij Kumar Sharma, sir. Sir has an unwavering dedication, unparalleled expertise, and boundless enthusiasm, which makes him a true beacon of excellence. He is an assistant professor in Department of English at Aligarh Muslim University. He received his MA and PhD in English literature from the same university in the year 2009 and 2015, respectively. His doctoral research focused on a study of post-colonial drama Muslim University in 2019. He has also worked as a guest faculty. He has also worked for some time as content writer in Mumbai, as assistant professor in Punjab. He has published a monograph, few research papers, articles in both Hindi and English. His research interests include post-colonial studies and film studies. In the year 2016, he attended a summer course in film appreciation at Film and Television Institute of India, Pune. Currently, he has been working on a film research fellowship project under the aid of National Film Archive of India, Pune, a media unit of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Now let's welcome Sir to share his words of wisdom. We are eager to hear his insight as they guide us forward and inspire us to achieve goals. Sir, please.
A very good evening to all of you. I hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yes, sir. You are
Yes.
audible.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And I have a very long association with Karim City College because when I was a research scholar in 2011, I read my first research paper in a conference which was organized by Karim City College. So I have a very long association with this college. And thank you so much for inviting me to deliver a talk. And that too with Tabassum ma'am. She gave a wonderful lecture and talked about a few things which nobody generally these days talk about, especially the ancient languages which are almost dead. Nobody talks about them. So making students aware about those languages was a very good initiative. And also, like I'm also thankful to Karim City College for giving me a chance to be a part of this, because Tabassum ma'am deserves it, because the whole idea of International Mother Tongue Day, its initiative was taken by Bangladesh. So she gave us a very good idea about like the role of the martyrs and the nuances which played a very major role behind the observance of this day by UNESCO first and then United Nations later on. If you look at the theme of 2024 with regard to the International Mother Tongue Day, they are talking about multilingual education, and they are also talking about intergenerational learning. I think Tabassum ma'am has given a very wonderful idea about this, the mother tongue and how it is associated with the culture, identity. And also, she has talked about the whole history behind that, the efforts behind that. I will just, since I'm a student of literature, so I will talk about few things in relation to literature with regard to being multilingual and how multilingualism or the multilingual approach can help us or all of us in cultivating our mother tongue. So, I think all the students here who are listening to me, they would have enjoyed reading Paradise Lost by Milton, right? And they all know about the value of Paradise Lost, the epic work by John Milton. So when we talk about the multilingual approach to we find that a very good example can be seen in the Renaissance period. I would like to share a slide because I haven't prepared a slide. I have just 2 or 3 slides which can give a brief idea about the Renaissance period and what I'm talking about. Just a brief idea, because I wanted to talk about Renaissance period and John Milton. Just give me a minute. Is it visible? No.
No, Sunij, not yet.
No, it's not visible. Okay, so I think I can go on without it because we all know about Renaissance time period, and all of us who are part of this meeting, we also know that how during the Renaissance time period, which started in 1500, 16th century, it was a kind of a revival. It was a kind of a rebirth, reawakening. A lot of spirits we talk about, a spirit of awakening, learning, inquiry. And there was one more important thing, which was that before the beginning of Renaissance, Latin was the connecting language for the whole of Europe. So any writer who wanted to become famous or write something for the whole of Europe, he or she was supposed to write it in Latin language. For example, we have Thomas More's Utopia. I think the students also know about it. Very important work by Thomas More, Utopia, where we also have the phrase utopia. And it was published in Latin language. Later on, it was translated to other languages. But with the coming of Renaissance, what happened? The European countries, especially Italy, France, Germany, England, they all started cultivating their own language, their own mother tongue. Let's say, for example, John Milton. John Milton, if you read his Paradise Lost, if you read all his works, then you will find there are a number of books about John Milton, which talks about his knowledge about different languages. And when I came to know about it, it was quite surprising for me that John Milton had knowledge about more than 10 languages. Tabassum ma'am referred to Aramaic language. John Milton also had knowledge about Aramaic language because when he wanted to write about the Garden of Eden, he wanted to write about the biblical story. He read in the original sources. He tried to approach through the sources which were available in Aramaic language. So he had knowledge about Latin, he had knowledge about Greek, he had knowledge about Italian language. He also wrote in Latin. He wrote a lot of prose works in Latin. He knew Greek, Aramaic, and there were 4 languages which were English, Italian, Greek, and Latin. In all these languages, he was able to both read and write. But he chose to compose his magnum opus, which is Paradise Lost, in his mother tongue. And if you closely study his English style, the style of John Milton, then you will find his multilingual knowledge played a very major role in his cultivation of the English language, which was the early modern English language. Now, we all know about the whole history of English language, the Old English, Middle English, and from the Renaissance onwards, we have the early modern and the late modern. So in the early modern English, John Milton played a very major role, and his knowledge of Latin language, for example, he used his knowledge of Greek, he used his knowledge of Latin to read the original works of the authors. And not only John Milton, if you read Sir Philip Sidney, when he talks about apology for poetry, he refers to, if you read it, he refers to the idea of the Tower of Babel. What is the Tower of Babel? I hope some of the students would be knowing about it. A very interesting idea, right? Where we talk about that how the Tower of Babel or what do you call it, the curse which is associated with the Tower of Babel, it forced us to read and write or communicate in our own mother tongue, which created, earlier we had, it was some sort of idea that it was in the earlier times, there was one connecting language. And before the curse of the Tower of Babel, what happened? The connecting language was disintegrated, and we got individual languages, mother tongues, and we took it as a curse. But I think it's not a curse. In today's time, it's more like a blessing, because we are living in a multilingual world where instead of having one language, if you can be a multilingual person, like knowing more than 3 languages, being more than a bilingual person, if you can be a multilingual person, you can cultivate your own mother tongue. There are many ways through which one can do some service to his or her mother tongue. These days, we all know about the political scenario. We know that, there are some languages, because there is also a game of politics which plays a very major role. There are some languages which are protesting for their survival. There are some mother tongues which are being imposed by its speakers on other people. It's also happening. So what is it? But this is something which it can be adjustable in politics or manageable in politics. But as a student of literature or language, what we can learn, you think about the Renaissance countries. Renaissance multilingualism is in itself a very important topic, which can teach us that how each European country cultivated its mother tongue. And by cultivating its mother tongue, they also cultivated their own culture. If you read about German literature, if you read about Italian literature, if you read about French literature, then you will find all richness of their literature. It can be found largely, a majority of it can be found in last 500 years, because they dedicated all their translation activities, their their reading activities, their learning activities, right, in service of their mother tongue. We also have some good examples, like we also know that in India, uh, before before independence, there were many educationists, there were many visionaries in the field of education. Sorry, for example, we have Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who also believed in the idea that if you want to cultivate your mother tongue, then you must also think about producing books or translating books of science uh, or logic or reasoning, translate them into your own mother tongue so that you can enrich your mother tongue. This is also a very great effort. This was a very great effort, and many people are doing it because in today's time, we also know that, cultivating your own mother tongue, it's also about how you can produce good literature in your language, how you can produce good books of science in your language, how can you be more inclusive in your approach, because that is a very basic idea behind this multilingual education. And why multilingual education? Because the multilingual mind, obviously, the multilingual mind is undoubtedly far better than the monolingual or bilingual mind. Bilingual is far better than monolingual, but being multilingual is much better, because if you want to work in your mother tongue, it's well and good. And if you also know 2 more languages or 3 more languages in which you can simply read, then you can do a lot of service to your mother tongue. And we should not think about the idea that languages are fighting languages, or one language is trying to replace the other language. It can never happen, because if you all know about this idea, in linguistics, we treat languages like an organism, like a human being. And that's why we do not say development of language, we say evolution of language. It's not done in a laboratory. Nobody can do it in a laboratory. Linguistics is a science, but it doesn't work in a laboratory. It works in the outer world, the common people. So let them decide. There are many languages. We also know that, for example, in India, there are many, some 12 or 15 languages which are almost extinct. And these languages were spoken by the people who used to live in the Himalayas, the Himalayan tribes, because there were limited number of speakers, and now most of them are gone. But you think about this idea, the extinction of a language and calling a language dead. These days people also say Greek is a dead language, Latin is a dead language. But they do not say extinction of these languages, because it cannot be possible, because a lot of literature and books are available. So those people, if you read Philip Sidney, he again, says it. And not only Philip Sidney, Webster also talks about it. He wrote prose writings about language, and he says that how great philosophers like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, especially Aristotle and Plato, they serve their mother tongue, right? So, because they knew that even if you are not having any speaker of that particular language, the literature is going to make it survive for a longer period of time. You read, the ideas of British Romantic poets like John Keats or P.B. Shelley or Byron. They were not concerned with the survival of the language. They were more and more concerned with the survival of their poetry, because they knew the language is somehow going to survive. So they were thinking about what role they can play, right? It's more like you belong to a tradition. Don't worry about the tradition. What is your individual talent and how you can contribute to it? Another important thing is that when you talk about mother tongue, so for example, my mother tongue is Braj Bhasha. It's termed as a spoken form of Hindi. Some people term it as a dialect of Hindi. But if you read about Braj Bhasha, these days it's popularly used in spoken form. And there are many writers who have worked on Braj Bhasha. For example, Rupert Snell has worked on Braj Bhasha. And if you read the history of Braj Bhasha, then you will find its history is longer than the history of Hindi language. But it is considered a part of Hindi. Braj Bhasha has a very long history, and its history also connects it to the Mughal court. Its history also connects it with what you call Urdu language, or you can find even in works of Surdas or Amir Khusro. Right, those things are available, but nobody talks about the literature of Braj Bhasha these days. Everybody says it's more like a spoken form, which is more popular in the rural part of northern India. But there are, if you talk about the literature available in Braj Bhasha, it's very rich, it's very huge. There are many people who talk about it, who have written papers on it, research papers on it, who have published books about it. And it's available in, you can see it in places like Mathura or some part of Rajasthan, Aligarh also, and Agra. These are the places where it is dominant spoken form of the language. And if you study about Braj Bhasha, you will find it's closely associated with Hindi and Urdu. So if you look at the politics of language, which became very prominent in the first decade of 20th century, or even before that, especially after 1890s, then you will find the debate was all about the script, because nobody was able to differentiate between the language. Tabassum ma'am was referring to Devanagari. Devanagari is a script. And there was also a debate regarding this, that why to impose Devanagari on many North Indian languages, which happened in India. So when we talk about mother tongue, we also must think about the scripts, the mother script, because it's very much right that when we talk about mother tongue, we think about the language which we learn to speak, right, which is our first language, and the oral form of the language plays a very major role. But what about the script? And if you read the history related to the dominance of one script over another, it is also a very interesting history which played a very major role in the development of languages, and rather, sorry, not development, but evolution of languages, or the politics which played a very major role behind the languages. One more thing which I would like to add, that if you talk about multilingual education policy, it focuses on inclusive approach, which is a very good thing. So trying to be inclusive is a very good approach, and this is something which can protect all languages used by peoples of the world. And I gave you the example of Renaissance. Let me cite one more example from the time of Renaissance. You all know about the translation of Bible, Holy Bible, by Tyndale, and the publication of the Holy Bible, its translation, which is known as the King James Version in 1612. And you will find that when the first English translation of the Holy Bible was published, Henry VIII, who was the Tudor King of England, he delivered a speech in the Parliament, and he said a very interesting thing. He said that this translation has been made available because we want the English families that they must, or they should, instruct their children. They must instruct their family members. But this translation is not available to create a dispute, right? Because he was very much worried about this, that if a translation in the mother tongue is available, that can also create a dispute. And we also know about that, how the publication of the translation of the Holy Bible also played a very major role behind the Reformation movement and made people aware about a lot of things. Right. So this one thing is there. Milton's idea. You also know about Milton, that he was a great multilingual writer, and the book that I was referring to is it has been titled Milton's Languages: The Impact of Multilingualism on Style. This book was published by John K. Hale. Milton's Languages: The Impact of Multilingualism on Style. So he is talking about how multilingual knowledge of Milton played a very major role in his verse composition, in his translations, in his annotations of Greek poets. For example, if you start reading Paradise Lost, book 1, in the very beginning, you can find there are lines which have been directly translated by Milton from Italian writers like Ariosto, who is popularly known for the book Orlando Furioso. You can directly find a reference to that. So he translated some lines. And this translation is not an attempt only to bridge the gap. It's not about bridging the gap, or it's not about making Ariosto known to the English people. Its attempt is to enrich the mother tongue. So multilingualism is the ability, it's about the ability to use 3 or more languages, which plays a very major role. Then finally, I would like to say that, again, with reference to Sidney's Apology for Poetry, when he refers to the Tower of Babel, or which he calls the Tower of Babylon, and he says it was the curse of the Tower of Babylon, which forced us to communicate in our mother tongue. So I would think that today's time we have, because we are trying to be more inclusive, let's call this curse a blessing, because being multilingual in today's time can enrich your mother tongue. It can create bridges. It can bridge the gaps between cultures, and it can enrich the literature in your mother tongue. So I think I would like to stop here. I'm thankful to all the Karimians for listening to me, and I'm really delighted to be a part of this this program. Along with Tabassum ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for delivering a wonderful lecture. And yes, sir. Also, I would like to thank you once again. Over to you, yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes. Please, Swati, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. Now I would like to request Swati to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Shivli. On behalf of the PG Department of English and the Society for Promotion of Art and Culture, Student Organizing Committee, I, Swati Sharma, Chief Organizing Secretary of SPARC, extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest speaker on this momentous occasion of International Mother Language Day. We are truly honored to have had the privilege of hosting Tabassum Tahmina Shagufta Hussein ma'am and Dr. Sunij Sharma sir as our distinguished guests. Your insightful and inspiring words have enriched our understanding and the significance of language and culture, leaving an indelible mark on our heart and minds. Your presence has added immense value to our event, and we are sincerely thankful for your time, expertise, and commitment for promoting the beauty of mother language. Once again, thank you, ma'am and sir, for gracing us with your wisdom and presence. We look forward to future collaborations and the continued celebration of linguistic diversity. Thank you so much,